All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. We've got a doubleheader today. We've got a 500 event over in Abu Dhabi that we're finishing up. We've watched it most of the week. Doubles as well, but we're only watching the singles final today. Alexandra Eala is in big trouble. She's down a set and a break to the 20-year-old from Czechia. And then we've got Roducanu taking on Cirstea, which is a banger matchup over in Romania. Raducanu trying to win her first title since the US Open. Cirstea trying to win one of her final titles, or maybe her final title at home, because she is retiring at the end of the season. By the way, Cirstea has had a very good year. She's only lost to Osaka and Sabalenka, I think, this year. So she is playing really well to finish her season. Maybe she'll do a Danielle Collins and not retire. Is that a thing? I feel like that is a thing. Anyway, Slice, if you're playing well, why would you quit, right? She's playing very well. Maybe she'll stay around. Anyways, that's a winner by Alexandra Eala. They're both wearing purple, by the way, in Romania, which the court is also purple. Everything's purple. Purple, purple, purple. Equal support for Roducanu and Cirstea. I reckon Cirstea is going to get a little bit more support, though, because she is representing Romania. All right. Tell you what, Roducanu is not one to stick around for photos. She sits down, she stands there to take the photos. The second they take the photo, she runs away. The second the photo set, she sprints away. Before the other person has a chance to look at her. She did it yesterday too. She runs away. She gets out of there quickly. Anyway, it's 40 love Alexandra Eala. She is not one to stick around for a photo. Alexandra Eala, by the way, has played so many points on serve in this match. All right, serve. Into the backhand of Bejlek, and Bejlek in the net. All right. All right, so Roducanu and Cirstea have played once before. They played at Wimbledon back in 2021 before Roducanu was a Grand Slam champion. And Roducanu won 6-3, 7-5 in the third round. So that was the only time they've ever played. So interesting that they played in Roducanu's backyard.
Thanks for this.
No, thank you. Thank you, Herman, for the $2. That scared the shit out of me. Did anyone else get scared by that? That was crazy. Thank you for the donation. And now they're playing in the backyard of Cirstea. So let's see how things go. All right, Bejlek with a set and a break. And Roducanu is going to play against Sorana Cirstea, the 35-year-old who's retiring at the end of the season. All right. It was fun, the match they played at Wimbledon. Alexandra, by the way, is... Oh, okay, I thought she left the court. I'm like, where'd she go? She disappeared. Not many players would have played Roducanu as not a Grand Slam champion. That is true. I think she only played 10 or so matches before she won a slam. So, yeah, you are correct on that one. She's one of the only players that played Roducanu before she became a champion. By the way, we've also got Bolter taking on Korpatch. First time, I think, in the history of the WTA that two British women are playing in finals simultaneously, or in the same week. So huge for British tennis, and they beat Norway in the Davis Cup. So yeah, been a big week for British tennis. As that goes in the net by Alexandra Eala, 15 love. So yeah, big week for British tennis. All right, just Cirstea waves to the crowd. As a return out by Bejlek, and it's 15-all. Raducanu's two finals have been as a qualifier and as number one seed. I know, right? That's madness. Katie Bolter is Australian also. That is true. She is Aussie. I forgot. My bad. All right, 15 hours. Bejlek tries to hold. As a return from Alexandra Eala goes in the front of Bejlek. Bejlek puts it away. Alexandra Eala just stopped moving. She was just like, nah, I'm not even trying with that one. 30-15. I hope Emma wins. Otherwise, people like Boris Becker are going to make fun of her. Yeah, I don't know what Boris Becker's comments were made in jest. I don't know. If Roducanu doesn't win, it's still been a great week for the Roducanu fans because she's made a final, and that's a huge deal for the long-suffering Roducanu fans who have had to battle, constant criticism of their favorite player. So even if she doesn't win, and look, this is a very tough final. Like, Cirstea has had a great year so far and is playing at home, right? It's Cirstea's home. Raducanu's half Romanian, but she doesn't live there. As Bejlek holds a 3-1. Also, she had a tough match in yesterday's semi-final where she almost went down. And Cirstea, like I said, had a great week. It's her final, probably a final match at home, because she's retiring this year, so she's on fire. So, this is a very tricky match. And I don't know if Raducanu is the favorite or not, but it is going to be tricky. All right, Cirstea to serve. I think I'm going to go Raducanu in 3, but it's going to be tough. There's a forehand from Alexandra Eala. She's in big trouble. Love 15. She hits it in the net. There's a backhand return from Raducanu with the backhand of Cirstea. Cirstea hits a winner. So yeah, Cirstea's only lost, I think, if I remember correctly from doing some research, I'm pretty sure she's only lost this year to Sabalenka and Osaka. Yeah, so she, and you want to take it further, she hasn't lost to a player outside the top 30 since October, where she lost to Zhang in Wuhan. She lost to Fernandez in Osaka. She lost to Fernandez in Hong Kong, both of those in the later stage of the tournament, semi-final, quarterfinal. She then lost in Brisbane to Sabalenka, and then she lost at the Australian Open to Osaka. So that's not a bad run since, mid-October last year. She's been playing really well. Some of the players she's beaten along that time as well. She's beaten Ostapenko, Bolter. She actually beat Pego a couple of times last year, at the end of last year. And then this week she's beaten Potapova. So, yeah, Cirstea is having a great run towards, at the end of last year and into this final season for her. All right, love 40. Bejlek, a chance to get this double break here in the second. G'day, host. G'day. 30 love, by the way, is Roducanu forehand into the forehand of Cirstea. Roducanu can't get that one. She didn't even run for it. Anyways, that goes out by Alexandra Eala. Like, Roducanu didn't even attempt to move to that one. But she did play a long match yesterday, so maybe she's feeling sore. Anyways, Bejlek's got the double break here in the second. 21 minutes played. And Bejlek is in control. 40 love Cirstea. As Cirstea holds 1 love in this final. All right. Alexandra Eala in big trouble. Hard to believe Cirstea only has 3 titles in all these years. Yeah, I mean, look, she lived in the shadow of Halep. I think we all know that, right? That Halep was the Romanian player, and she kind of like lived in her shadow. They weren't friendly, apparently, as well during their careers until recent events when Halep got banned. Cirstea kind of, didn't change their tune, but like was kind of like in support of Halep a little for the first time. But yeah, I mean, lived in the shadow of Halep. She was the one who was getting, she was the one that was getting all the praise. And but hey, Cirstea has still had a good career. She's been around for a long time, and I'm sure she'll probably be a coach or something in the future. She seems like the type. Like she would be like the Billie Jean King Cup captain for Romania or something. Romania's got some good players coming through. It's not like Romania's like Halep Castella and nobody. Like there are some good players coming through Romania. So, maybe she'll be a coach for them, but we'll see. All right, 15 love here. Bejlek is 2 games away from a 500 title. That's a huge trophy as a quali. Another young player, along with Eala, Jovic, and Boko. By the way, Roducanu hasn't won a point yet. Love 30. And Bejlek is now... I think we watched Bejlek like 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure we watched her at the Australian Open, right? Didn't we watch her play like Sabalenka or something at the Australian Open a couple years ago? I remember we've watched her before. She is definitely a force. So we watched Bejlek against Fernandez at the Australian Open last year. No, 24. Yeah, so 2 years ago. Holy shit. And I remember we watched her then. And another Czech player to keep an eye on, right? There's Valentova. There's Bejlek now as well, along with all the other Czech players. As Castella hits another winner in love 40. Roducanu hasn't won a point in this final. And Bejlek's won 10 points in a row as well. All right. 40 love. Bejlek to go to 5-1. So Alexis Cantor, who is apparently an LTA appointed coach for Roducanu this week. Love 40 here as the return goes out by Castella, and it's 15-40 as that goes in the net by Bejlek, and it's 40-15. And she is almost about to win a big trophy. And I think now we're going to start saying, okay, well, Joint, Bejlek, Mboko, Jovic, Eala. Obviously, Andreeva is in that same generation, but she should be, if she wins this title, she should be in the conversation of young players as Bejlek holds, and it's 5-1. Because, she's about to do what Jovic did last year, win a 500 event. The only difference is that she's 3 years older than Jovic. But Bejlek is definitely, with this win, a 500 trophy is legit. And that's a big trophy. So we definitely got to put her on the list of the next generation. All right, serve out wide to the backhand of Castella. Castella hits it out, and Roducanu is a deuce. First game of the match. All right. We're going to serve from Alexandra. She serves to stay in the match. Serving to stay in the match. Serving to the backhand of Bejlek. Good return. Alexandra gets it. Bejlek with a forehand down the line. Alexandra gets it with a slice, but it's in the net. Love 15. Bejlek is not messing about. Advantage to say, by the way. She tries to break first games of the match. As we just serve from Roducanu is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. By the way, great running by Bejlek, but Alexandra too good as Roducanu backhand to the forehand of Castella. Roducanu forehand to the forehand of Castella again. Roducanu again with the forehand to the forehand of Castella. Castella hits it out. We're back to deuce. As that goes out by... It goes past Bejlek at the net. Alexandra 15-0. All as Alexandra serves a fault. Second serve. Serving to the forehand of Bejlek. Backhand up from Alexandra. Bejlek on the stretch. Into the forehand of Alexandra. Bejlek. Slice. As that goes in the net by Alexandra. 15-30. 2 points away from the championship. $15.30. As with a backhand to the forehand of Bejlek. Forehand from Alexandra. Bejlek backhand on the stretch. Alexandra Eala back into the net. Championship points for Bejlek. 15-40. This second set has flown by. All right, Cirstea with a break point as well. But the 20-year-old from Czechia is about to win as a qualifier a WTA 500 event. As Roducanu survives, back to deuce. Serve is a fault from Alexandra Eala. Second serve. Into the backhand of Bejlek. Return goes down the line. Alexandra Eala gets with the backhand in the net! And Bejlek wins Abu Dhabi as a quali. Biggest trophy by a long shot of her career. She's only 20. She's just getting started. And she is one of the shortest players on tour as well. But another player from Czechia, another young player to keep an eye on. Bejlek wins Abu Dhabi. Huge win. Crazy. What a win. Alexandra Eala just couldn't get it together after that first set. She was at 5-0 in that first set. Bejlek took the set, and then Alexandra Eala disappeared. But what a win by Sara Bejlek. Huge win. And another player to chuck in the mix of young players to keep an eye on. Now, I don't know if Bejlek's playing next week. Alexandra Eala is playing next week. Is Bejlek playing in Doha, or did she miss the cut? I think she missed the cut. But it doesn't matter. She can celebrate this trophy for a week and then go to Dubai. She'll get a wild card there, surely. Anyways, break point again for Cirstea. As Roducanu forehand is out, and there's the break. Cirstea, 2-love. All right, we're going to merge the streams to make it easier to keep track. But jump on over here if you want to keep watching. Bejlek at 38 in the world now. Wow. She leapfrogs a couple of those players of her generation. Eala, Joint. I think, does she leapfrog Joint? Hang on. Is she now the third? No, she can't be the third best under 21-year-old, is she? That's the men's side. Hang on. Oh, so she's right behind Maya Joint. So it goes Andreeva, Mboko, Jovic, Joint, Bejlek. She overtakes Eala and Valentova, who are just behind her. So yeah, big jump. I mean, you win a 500 event, you know, it makes big difference. As the volley goes in the net by Cirstea, 15. So yeah, so Andreeva's got 1,000s, Mboko's got a 1,000, Jovic has got a 500, Joint's got multiple 250s, and now Bejlek's got a 500. So Eala, Valentova, Marchenko, who are just behind, they don't have those big trophies yet. They don't have the 250 trophies or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it shows if you win a couple of big trophies, like, 250s or 500s, win a couple of those, you can be in the top 30 as well, or the top 40. So yeah. Those are the 6 players, seven players. Those 7 players are in the top 50. The under 21 are 7 of them. And we all know about Andreeva and the others. But yeah, Bejlek, if you didn't know her before this week, now you do. And she is also a part of that group. And she might get a special entry next week. I don't know. Is she playing next week? I don't even know. But anyways, jump on over. We're going to watch Roducanu, see if she can win her first title since the US Open. But yeah, Sara Bejlek getting it done, 7-6, 6-1. To win her first WTA trophy. And it's a 500 event as well. Massive trophy. Okay. 40-15 here, Cirstea. She is cruising to start us off. What a start. All right. 40-15. Roducanu returns into the forehand of Cirstea. Cirstea hits it wide. 40-30. 40-30. Oh yeah, Bejlek is shorter than Paolini, I think, as well. So all right, 40-30. There's a fault from Cirstea. Second serve. As a return goes into the backhand of Cirstea. Forehand now from Roducanu. As Cirstea goes to the backhand of Roducanu. Into the backhand of Cirstea. And that goes long. And it's deuce. Emma beat Castella at Wimbledon 21. Yeah, she did. She definitely did that. Man United won 4 in a row, Cam. Wait, did that guy have to cut his hair? Does that guy have to cut his hair? Or was that 5? Did he say 5 in a row or 4 in a row? All right, deuce. As the return goes into the forehand of Castella, Roducanu. Forehand again to the forehand of Castella. Roducanu with a forehand into the net. Advantage Castella. Nobody in the chat knows what I'm saying. No, 5 in a row. Okay, you know what I'm saying. That's why you brought it up, right? All right, advantage Castella. Wait, hang on. Are they undefeated since they fired their head coach? Their manager? Are they undefeated now, like firing the manager? All right, advantage Castella. They beat Tottenham, right? See, I know football. Back into the line. Into the forehand of Roducanu. Roducanu hits it out. 3-love Castella. 3-0. All right. Yes, sir. See, chat, I know what's up. Why are you even covering this event? Why are you watching it? What? I feel like that's a valid question. Thanks, Deb. Why are you covering this event? Why are you watching me watch this? You should have better things to do. Come on now. That's a crazy. I'm not crazy. That's crazy from you. You take time out of your day to watch something that you don't want to watch? That's wild. Castella is masterly at tennis. She is very good at tennis. This is pro Roducanu channel. This is a very pro Roducanu channel. All right. Now, 3-love. Great stuff for Castella. Roducanu does look tired. She definitely isn't moving fast. But this is also the best player she's played all week by a mile. She hasn't played anyone. Whoops. Cheers. This is the best player she's played all week, Roducanu, by a long shot. And she's coming off that nearly 3-hour match yesterday. But yeah, she hasn't played. By the way, 36 in the World Castella. She hasn't played anybody in the top 90 all week. She's played 125, 97, 146, 91. So that is a big step up. Castella, on the other hand, her week consists of 93, 153, 58, and 144. So she's also having a big jump. It's just that she played Potapova, who was 58 in the world. So that's like a slightly less, slightly better warm-up for this match, I guess, than Roducanu has had. But again, both have not played somebody this good this week, like top 50 this week. But Castella's taking the initiative early. As that goes net by Roducanu on the backhand, and it's 15-0. All right, 15-0. Sometimes algorithms suggest your channel cam. Yeah, but it's just strange. Like, if you see that we're live for a match that you don't care about, why would you click on the video? I mean, like, you know what I mean? It said like you clicked on the video. The algorithm doesn't make you watch. It just suggests that you should click on it. But then you chose to click and then complain. It's weird. Don't do that. Just like get off the phone and like go do something else. All right, nice hitting from Roducanu. 30-15. Like I'm not like you don't have to be here. Come back tomorrow when we watch something else. All right, 30-15. Because trust me, we'll be watching other things. We don't just watch Roducanu and Eala and Alcaraz. Like we just watched, I mean, I don't know if you're here, but we just watched Bejlek taking on Alexandra. Right? I mean, that's when have we ever watched that? Well, never, because they've never played, but we would just watch that, you know. Yeah, Deb's like, yeah, I have to be. That's fair enough, Deb. That's okay. But you're not here. You're here for you don't care who is playing. Why are we watching Davis Cup? We're not watching Davis Cup. This is in Romania. 30-all. By the way, Towson and Alexandra Eala back-to-back for Bejlek. That's a huge win. I'm a Bejlek fan for sure. Yeah, she's great. Return goes in the back into Roducanu. Roducanu in the net. 30-40. Break point for Cirstea to get the double break here. All right, 30-40. To take the double break. Serve into the backhand is an ace from Roducanu. Huge serve out wide. All right, deuce. Back to deuce. As we serve into the back end of Cirstea. Return goes back into Roducanu. Cirstea forehand down the line as Roducanu with a slice. Cirstea backhand down the line. Winner. Advantage Cirstea to take the double break in this final. All right. By the way, both of these ladies are playing in Doha next week. I mean, at this stage, right? They might change their minds. If things get if Cirstea wins this, I'm sure she wants to stay in Romania for a couple of days extra, not run to Doha to play Chen. And Roducanu might want to break after a physical match or physical week as we get a double fault Roducanu. And Cirstea gets the 4-love lead. By the way, chat, if you don't know about Sorana Cirstea, I'm going to educate you because part of my job is to inform you on what's going on. Cirstea has made the 4th round of the Australian Open a couple of times. She made the quarterfinals of the French back in 2009. Quarterfinals of the US Open back in 2023. And also Wimbledon, she made the 3rd round. So far, that's her best result. Obviously, she's still playing this year. She actually made a 1,000 final in Canada back in 2013. She lost to Serena Williams. You might have heard of her. She's kind of the greatest player of all time, in my opinion. 2 in love, though. She lost that match. But she did have a good run. She made the final there back in 2013. She was unseeded. She took out Lina, Petra Kvitova along the way. Also took out Jankovic and Wozniacki. So she went Wozniacki, Jankovic, Kvitova, Lina, and then lost to Serena, the greatest of all time. So not a bad run to get to her first and only 1,000 final. She did win a doubles 1,000 title last year with Kalinskaya. They beat Kudermetova Mertens in the final. Good win because that's a good doubles team. She has won a couple of titles in her career, 3 singles titles. Those being in 2008, she won in Uzbekistan. She then won in Turkey in 2021, and she then won in Cleveland last year in 2025. She has lost other finals to players like I said, Serena, Krejcikova. She lost the final against in France on clay a few years ago. So yeah, and then of course she's playing this final, which is her 8th final of her career, and she's looking for her 4th title. First one at home. Has it a backhand now into the volley of Cirstea, but Cirstea missed the volley, and it's 30-15. 30-15. Career high of 21 in the world. Back in 2013, I think it was. Yep. So when she made the final of Canada, that was when she got to her career high 21 in the world. Currently ranked 36. So not far away from her best, which was, 13 years ago now. So pretty consistent. Been, like I said, lived in the shadows of Halep for a while. Came up at the same time. So that was inevitable that they were going to be compared, and all that kind of stuff. She was a good junior player. She was decent in juniors, but again, Halep was the focus for Romanian tennis. Couple Currently coached by Albert Costa. Was coached by Thomas Johansson, I think, a couple of years ago. But Albert Costa, French Open champion, is now coaching her at the moment. That might change, but she might... at the moment, that is what's happening, apparently, according to the internet. 5-love, Cirstea. She's in a hurry. So that's where we're at with the Cirstea bio. Now, top 10 wins over her career. She beat Jankovic back in 2008 at the Fed Cup. She also took out Wozniacki, who was number 3 in the world back in 2009. Well, hang on, no. Sorry. She beat who was number 10 in the world at the time. She hasn't ever beaten the world number 1, but she did beat the world number 2, Sabalenka, in Miami in 2023. That was a massive upset at the time, still is. She has beaten the number 4 in the world a few times. Pliskova back in 2017. Rybakina in 2023. Also number 4 in the world at the time. Jankovic back in 2008, like I mentioned. Number 5 in the world, she's beaten a few times as well with Li Na in Canada when she went on that amazing run. She also beat Stosur and Jankovic, who was number 5 as well, and Garcia a couple of years ago. Really, it's interesting because 2008 to 2021, she had beaten a lot of top 10 players, but since 2023, she's beaten 7 top 10 players in the last years of her career. So post 30, she's actually done really well and beaten a lot of top 10 players. In 2023, she beat 4 top 10 players, which is her equal best, right? She beat Garcia twice, Sabalenka, Rybakina. 2024, she beat 3 top 10 players, Sakkari and Vondi twice. Last year, she beat Navarro in Dubai, who was number 9 at the time. And then her best season was at Canada run, where she beat 3 top 10 players to get to the final. She also beat Kerber in Miami that year. So there you go. There is the Sorana Cirstea bio and her history. And she's up 5-love right now. Raducanu trying to get a game here. I just bet my whole bankroll on Cirstea. All right, return goes out. And it's 15-love. $15-love. There's a bit of serve now. There's a fault from Roducanu. Second serve. Second serve. There's a return for Cirstea. Goes back into Roducanu. Down the line of the forehand of Cirstea. Into that Roducanu forehand. But Roducanu overhits it. 15-all. Halep had such a tragic ending to her career. Yeah, I mean, Halep was... yeah. I mean, it was... yeah. But, look, Halep fans... I know it was wrong. It felt like she was wronged at the end of her career, but let's remember the good times. She was number 1 in the world. She won a couple of slams. That Wimbledon 2019 will be forever remembered. That match against Serena was ridiculous. As the return goes in the net by Cirstea, 30-15. Emma looks nervous. I think she's crying. She isn't crying. 30-15. Hey, speaking of Halep, she's in the front row. That's Simona Halep right there. She's right there. All right, return goes out by Cirstea. It's 40-15. Simo, she's probably going to give the trophy out, right? All right. $40-15. As Raducanu serves the fault, second serve. As the return goes in from Cirstea, 40-30. Raducanu trying to get on the board. 40-30. Halep and Serena at Wimbledon was an amazing match. Oh, yeah. Somebody find that. Put it in the classic matches. That was a classic match. 40-30. As the return goes to the backhand of Raducanu. Backhand from Cirstea into the backhand of Raducanu. As Cirstea down the middle. Raducanu gets it back with a forehand. Cirstea backhand again. Raducanu goes wide with her backhand. And it's deuce. All right, we get the deuce. As the return goes into the backhand, and Cirstea nails it down the line. Advantage, Cirstea to take the first set. All right. Set point, Cirstea. First serve is a fault, second serve. As we get a double fault from Roducanu, and Cirstea takes the first set. 6-love. What a start. I told you this was going to happen, Cam. Cool, do you want a medal or a trophy? Emma needs to wake up quickly. Yeah, that was a great first set. I tell you, Cirstea came out quick. Raducanu definitely either is fatigued from yesterday or nervous because she came out like she was trying to hit her way out of problems. All right. Is Cirstea married? Don't be creepy. All right, one winner, Raducanu, 19 errors. I mean, that is shocking by Raducanu. 3 double faults as well. Cirstea, 9 winners and 10 errors. So solid set from her. But Raducanu, 1 winner, 19 errors. 1 winner, 19. That's crazy. That's terrible. Like, that's a shocking set. That's a shocking set. She needs to retire getting bageled in a final. Yeah. Yeah. You tell that to Anisimova. Yeah. Make sure when Anisimova plays next time, you come into that match and you say you should have retired at Wimbledon, because that's, be at least be equal. What about when Djokovic got bageled against Rafa, the French, back in 2020? He should have retired, right? Are we doing this game? Let's be fair. Definitely, yeah. I mean, you've just served up a bagel comment, so do you need to retire from commenting? I don't know. Maybe. That was a big 0 from you. Maybe. Anyways, let's see if Raducanu can get a game. Emma seems tired and lethargic. I mean, yes, but also Cirstea is making her looks like tired because Cirstea has come out here on fire. Like Raducanu definitely, especially in the first couple of games, looked like yesterday's match was still, had hurt, like fatigued her, but Cirstea came out swinging as well, so Raducanu might not have been ready for that. Let's see if Raducanu can regroup in the second. Are you seeing Li Na now? No, because she doesn't play tennis anymore, but okay. All right. Forehand now, Raducanu. In the forehand, Cirstea. Raducanu. Forehand goes long, and it's 15-love. Everyone gets bageled at least once. Yeah. If you haven't been bageled, you've never played tennis. Like, actually. Like, if you're a tennis player and you've never been bageled, then you have not played tennis. Everyone gets bageled. All right, ASAP White, 30-love. Love Cirstea. Another ace down the tee. Jeez, she's serving bombs, Cirstea. 40-love. Huge serve. 40-love. Raducanu must retire from tennis and marry Carlos, like Merker did with Federer. That was a joke, right? 3 aces in a row, by the way. That was a joke. What the hell? Serve, but 1-love Cirstea. Holy shit. Huge serving. 1-0. I wonder how many people with opinions on tennis have actually played tennis. Yeah, probably not many. I mean, the ones that have like strong opinions about like how bad a player is probably have not played tennis themselves. That's why they don't have a frame of reference of like how difficult this sport actually is, right? So like anyone saying like this person should retire because they are losing a very high level match, probably have never picked up a tennis racket in their life. You know? Because otherwise they would maybe have some compassion and empathy and know what's, you know, and be like, yeah, this sport is hard. Roducanu, by the way, is upset. And the crowd are trying to give us some love, despite them playing, you know, the player that they probably want to win anyway. Love 15. Tennis players are so good that they make it look easy, yeah. Yes, tennis looks easy, and then you go out there and no, you know what? Go out there and play tennis, but like film yourself playing tennis, and then look how bad you look. Like that's the worst part. You might feel like you're playing really well. It's like when you like go, I can jump really high, and then you jump off the ground, but then somebody films it, and you look and you get off the ground this high. That's the same with tennis, right? You're like, oh, I'm really good at tennis. Yeah, I feel really good, and then someone films you, and you watch it, and you're like, I look terrible. I thought I was hitting the ball harder than that. Why do I do this weird thing with my leg? Like that's what grounds you. I thought I was looking like Carlos out there. I thought I was Alcaraz. What the hell? The hell? I moonball. What the hell? It's brutal. It's a reality check. Anyways, Cirstea, it's at 15:30. That'll make you humble. That'll humble you if you just record yourself playing tennis. 15:30. Roducanu serves again. Into the back end of Cirstea. Roducanu forehand. That's a winner. 30-0. If you think your profession is hard, then change your profession. What's your profession, Ray? Or a professional hater? 30-0. As Roducanu serves again. Second serve, Roducanu. And double fault, Roducanu, another one. All right, break point, Cirstea, 30-40. 30-40. Break point, Cirstea. Seems like Emma is playing with no energy. Yeah, she's definitely... I reckon it's a combination of nerves and a bit of yesterday's match. How, because that was a pretty physical one. As that goes out from Cirstea and it's deuce. Combination of Cirstea coming out here on fire, playing very aggressive, and Roducanu not really being ready for that. Also nerves, because this is the first final in 4 years, right? She would know the expectation put on her by people that don't like her, being like, well, she better win this, otherwise retire, right? All these idiots in the chat that are saying stupid things like that, right? Those people, she probably has them in the back of their mind, in her mind, because how can you not? But also, it is a great opportunity. She's made her first final in 4 years, and was probably the favorite coming in, slight favorite maybe. But Cirstea is playing she's playing great this year. As Roducanu hits the tape, goes in, Cirstea comes to the net, Roducanu volleys, but Cirstea puts it away. So she probably has got a lot of nerves going on too. But like I said yesterday, even if she doesn't win the final, it's been a great week for Roducanu. Finally making a final. Roducanu fans have a lot to celebrate. Even if she doesn't win the title. Getting to the final is that next step. She's, we've said it for years. She's done tennis in reverse. She won the biggest trophy first and has to go backwards and start, and then go back to square one and start. And this is it, right? Making a final of a 250 is one of the first steps you take. You try and tick off as a player, right? As with a forehand from Cirstea into the backhand of Raducanu. Cirstea backhand into the forehand of Raducanu. Again to the backhand of Cirstea, but Raducanu hits along. And Cirstea got a break in the second. 6-love, 2-love. All right. What's the point of an opportunity if it's squandered? Man, there's some really interesting chat. Yeah, why try? If you're going to fail, why try? Why try anything in your life, chat? Right? Why do anything worth? Why risk it? Raducanu should have been like, I made the final. I don't want to risk losing, so I'll just leave. Yeah, because why would you want to try in life? You know, just don't try. See how that works. Double fault. What's the point in opportunity if you're going to squander it? I mean, the opportunity. Like, you get the opportunity to succeed. You might fail, but also you get that opportunity. But you're right. Why try? All right, back in return now. The slice of Cirstea. Raducanu comes in with a forehand and puts it away. Love 30. All right, Cirstea. Love 30. What's my favorite movie of all time? God, it changes all the time. Does it have to be one? All right, love 30. You can't miss a shot you don't take. Is that how it goes? Yeah, yeah. We'll go with that. That's how it is. That's the interpretation. We'll go with that. I think it's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but you know, we'll go same. And that goes in the net by Cirstea. Love 40. Raducanu a chance to get the break back. All right, love 40. Roducanu and Eala have a lot of sponsors. Remember that, bashers. Oh God, you're poking a hornet's nest. You're braver than me with that. I didn't want to say it, but you said it. You're poking the bear, though. They're going to come back and be like, yeah, they should stick to modeling, and it's not going to be a good thing. We don't need that in our lives. Anyways, Raducanu breaks. No double bagel. Joke's on you. All right, 2-1. We're back on serve. Raducanu breaks. She gets her first game of the final. Your favorite movie of all time changes all the time. That's telling. No, it's not. By the way, you can have more than one favorite movie. There's a million movies out there. That's telling. What are you, a psychologist all of a sudden? Pretend you're pseudoscience, tinfoil hat wearing nerd? Like, what are you doing? Are you reading? You don't know me. Comeback starts here. All right, trainers out on court for Raducanu. I'm not sure why. She did have a shoulder issue yesterday. So we'll see. We'll see what's up. Oh, pardon me. What's the percentage of these Emma Raducanu haters being men? No, I think it's pretty. I think it's a combination. There's too many movies to have only one favorite. I agree. I do love Guardians of the Galaxy. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. I've watched that a million times, and I could watch it a million times. One of my recent new favorite movies, Tombstone. That was great. I love that. Yeah, Tombstone is on my list of favorites. There Will Be Blood is probably top 3 all time. There Will Be Blood. I drink your milkshake. All right, so Raducanu was just getting all her vitals checked. So nothing, there's no injury. It's more just she's not feeling well. I've abandoned my boy! It's a great movie. Tombstone is so good, Catherine. I only recently watched it, like at the end of last year. But I heard raving reviews, and I'm like, I'm going to find this out in the thrift store. And when I found it, I may have squealed a little bit. I was like, ooh. Because I was looking for it for so long. And then I watched it, and I was like, God damn, that movie's good. Great movie. All right, so Raducanu just... I don't know if it's a medical timeout or if it's more just a medical check. But we'll call it a timeout until... oh, no, I think it was just an assessment. I don't think it was a check. I don't think it was a timeout. But Raducanu eating some banana. She is not looking super flash. All right, but she gets the break back, so 2-1. Cirstea leads. Yeah, Eala and Valentova are playing against each other in Doha. I'm excited. I love that matchup. Hopefully, it's better than the first time they played. But I'm glad we get to watch Valentova as well. Like, it's going to be fun. Two players of the same generation. I mean, everybody loves Eala already. You know, we're going to watch her obviously, but to play Valentova, that's a good. I like that match. Somebody that I'm also keeping track of. All right, good winner there from Roducanu. 15 love. All right, Roducanu just placing the ball down the line. No need for a big cut. All right, serve again. As with a point now from Roducanu, and Cirstea hits it long, 30 love. By the way, there will be nerves from Cirstea's side as well, going, shit, I'm going to win this match at home. It's going to be like probably personally, probably her most important title of her career, right? So you got to think of that as well. Cirstea was having it so easy. She might get a little nervous. All right, 30 love. As the return goes into the forehand of Roducanu, down the line of the backhand of Cirstea. Roducanu slice. Into the forehand of Cirstea. Cirstea puts that away. 30-15. All right. Serve again, Roducanu. Hey, Linda, thank you for the gifted membership to John. Appreciate that. As Roducanu hits it out, and it's 30-0. Cirstea wants that break again. When they're going to have a next-gen final for the ladies, it would be great. I don't think they need to, though. Because, like, all the next-gen players are already winning. So they don't really need to have a finals to figure it out. Because remember, the next gen was about introducing the next gen to the world. They don't need that anymore. I mean, they don't even need it on the men's side, really. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the next gen finals, as that goes out by Cirstea 40-30 on the men's side, falls like disappears because it's Saudi have dropped it. They're pulled out of their contract because they end up getting a 1,000 title instead, right? So they're like, well, we don't need that. And now the ATP are looking for a venue for it, but I kind of feel like it's obsolete. Like, yes, okay, the players that win them go on to do things, but we don't really need... Like, I mean, we know who Tien is. We know Fonseca. We know Menchik. We know all the young guys coming through. We don't really need the next-gen finals to tell us who is next because we kind of watched them already. You know, everybody knew who Fonseca was before he even won the next-gen finals, right? Everybody knew Tien and Menchik and those guys. Alcaraz, the same thing, right? Everybody knew who Alcaraz was, and then he won the next-gen finals after that. So I don't think we need it anymore. Because back in like, when it first came out in like, 2016, it was like the GOATs and, all the guys in that lost generation. But then we didn't know who was next. And then, we got introduced to Medvedev and Rublev and Zverev and Coric and, those guys. We didn't know who they were before then. Well, we knew Zverev, but we didn't know the others, right? That's why the Next Gen Finals was brought in to tell us, like, okay, well, what happens when Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic retire? Who's next? Here are the best players under 21. But now we don't need it because we already know who the best players under 21 are because it's their time, right? We know who Runa is. We know Musetti, right? We don't need to be introduced to these guys. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Next Gen Finals ends up being made obsolete or made, what do they call it? Defunct. It doesn't need to happen anymore. We don't really need it anymore. And plus, most of the best players don't play it anymore, right? Last year, Menchik, Fonseca both pulled out. Tien won it. He won it, right? Like, I don't know. Doesn't feel like we really need. Yeah, Tsitsipas won it as well. Yeah, but that was after Tsitsipas announced himself to the world. Like everybody knew who Tsitsipas was in 2019 or 2018? I can't remember when he won it, but. And, De Minaur made the final a couple of times. Sinner was an interesting one because really nobody knew who Sinner was. And then he won the Next Gen Finals, right? And it was like, whoa, who's this kid? But, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it's really... It's not needed right now. Oh, Tsitsipas 2018? But by that time, he made the final of Canada in 2018. So everybody kind of knew who he was because he went on that run. So even then, it was like, well, did we really need it? As Cirstea serves a let, 30-15. Anyways, I feel like they could make the Next Gen Finals. They could turn it into something different, like with juniors. Like make it what it could be. It could be a showcase for best players under 21, but you bring in the junior Grand Slam champions. So you've got players like, Basevaredi and Bloch and Tien, and they're playing against the Australian Open junior champion who's like 17. Like that would be interesting. That would be fun. To get like the four best players on the ATP under 21, and then the four players who won the slams or made the final, whatever it is, right? Because then we can actually find out who the best juniors are. The problem with that is that the ITF own the juniors. So the ATP would have to do some work with the ITF, and they don't really get along that well. So it would be hard to get a junior player to play, but it's not worth any points though. So it's not worth ranking points. So it's an exhibition really. It's not worth ranking points. The title's not worth an ATP title. It doesn't go towards your record. So we could work with that, right? But like get the 4 Grand Slam champions of the juniors. And if it's 2, somebody wins 2, then just get the best player that didn't win 1, right? That would be great. I feel like that'd be really cool. 21 is too old, maybe 19. Yeah, maybe you can make it like 19. Yeah, so that way, or under 20. So that way we don't have like, by 21 now, on the women's side, at 21, people are winning slams, right? But on the men's side, 21 might be, at the moment, might be too old. It's unfair, but again, I think showcasing juniors would be a better way because that's the true next gen, right? I want to know who the 15, 16, 17-year-olds are that are coming up. I don't care about the 18, 19-year-olds because those guys we already know about, right? We already know most of them. Also, they need to put the next gen finals, if they're going to keep it going, they can't have it in December because nobody's watching tennis in December. They need to they need to put it within the season so it actually, it actually has some attention. Backhand down the line, into the forehand of Cirstea. Forehand from Raducanu. Deuce here. Is it a backhand again from Raducanu? Cirstea backhand to the forehand of Raducanu. Raducanu hits it wide advantage. You know what they should do if they're really going to change it and not do what I just said? They should cut it down to the best 4 players under 21 and put them before matches at the ATP finals. Like they should integrate it with the ATP finals, but just pick the best 4. So you get the best 4 and don't make it like a trophy or anything. Just get the best 4 players and have like one match every day between those 4 players before, Alcaraz, versus Zverev, right? Like sprinkle it in as like a bonus match every day. That would be better. That would make more sense. Because that way we'll actually pay attention. Like people will actually be able to see them. Or make it the best 6, right? Make it 6 and then you go, you have a bunch of matches, maybe do two groups of 3 if you really want to do the group thing. But like put it with the ATP finals, like in the middle of it, and that way you actually get to see and make them play normal format. Don't do this fast 4 thing. Make them play a normal format. Make them just play one set. Make it one set, or and it'll be a good filler between. Because remember, the day and night session of the ATP finals is like 2 matches in the day session, then there's like 3 hours, and then the night session. There's a slot right there. You chuck them in there. You put one match in there between 2 of the young guys, the younger players, and give the crowd an extra match. I think that'd be a great idea. And maybe they will do that, but again, we'll see what happens because Saudi ditched it. So I don't know how long it's going to last or if it's going to move or what. Badosa versus Penko, first round. That was supposed to be a first round, but then Badosa pulled out. All right. Anyways, this is 3-2 in the second. Roducanu is fighting hard, but Cirstea is in control. It has to be eight players. I reckon it'll be 4. You can make 4. Because what would it be? Because then you could have, if you have, one match per day, right? So then you have, 1v4, 2v3, 1v3, 2v4, and then 1v2, 3v4. And then so everybody gets 3 matches, right? And then for the final, what you do is, right? So you have 6 matches with 4 players, right? That's 6 matches if they all play each other. And then what you do is, the best 2, the best 2 players from those matches play each other in a final. So then you get 7 matches and you put 1 per day. So like on day 1, it's, whatever, 1v2 or whatever, 1v4 or whatever. Like you could do it. Like it could work. Like if I look at the next gen finals right now, you could just get the top 4 and then go 1v4 on day 1, 2v3 day 2, 1v3 day 3. Like it could work. And then you have 7 matches. And then you make the final between the 2 best players from that group of 4. Like it could totally work. Or you could do a knockout tournament if you want to put 8 players in and you make a quarterfinal, semi-final, final, and you spread that out over 7 days. If you want to do that. Like, I mean, hopefully the ATP are listening. All right, love 30. Chance for Cirstea to break. They should play best of 3 like the ATP finals. No need for fun. Yeah, but if you have 1 match per day, that could be, the format could be a full 3-setter. Maybe if you want to do a final set tiebreak, I'm happy with that. 1 set all, 3rd set 10-point tiebreak. If you want to abbreviate it, that's fine. Maybe play like doubles rules where it's sudden death. If you want to do that, I'm fine. But yeah, play a best of 3 set, like first to 6 match for sure. Anyways, love 40. Cirstea's about to break. Let's get back to this match because Cirstea is about to get the break here as Roducanu hits a 4-hand win across court, and it's 15-40. Thoughts on the ladies playing 5 sets of slams? I love it. I've been wanting that for years. I've been saying that for years. From the quarterfinals onwards, or to start with, let's just do the final. Just do a 5-set women's final, and then we'll work back from there, and we'll see we'll see how that goes. Just do it for the final. We don't need to do it like first, second week of the tournament, and everyone else has to change. Like, no. Just make the final of the women's slams 5 sets. That's all. And then we can work from there. If it's not good, we can go back. If it's good, maybe do the semifinals of the year. Like we don't have to do like reform the entire circuit. 15-40. As a return goes into the back of Roducanu, Cirstea gets the break. Roducanu in the net. Because everyone's talking about how like, if we want to have 4th round onwards, then the men have to play 3 sets in the first week. No. We're overthinking this. We just need to start from 1. Let's just do one thing. Let's just get look, chat, I'm the self-appointed commissioner of tennis, right? I am the professor of tennis. This is a theory, right? This is a theory. Let's just go Australian Open final next year, 5-set final. That's it, right? That's the trial. We'll see how good it is. We'll see what happens. Then the year after, if it's a success, the year after, we make semi-finals of the women and final. We don't change the men's. We don't need to touch that. Leave that as it is. And then, if that works, and the other slams start to adopt it, then we can start talking about, okay, what happens if we do the quarterfinals 5 sets onwards and do best of 3 sets in the first week for the men? So that way we can get the schedule right. We don't need to, everyone's talking about like, well, we need to change everything. No. You literally just change the final of the women's. It doesn't affect anything. We talked about this so many times. We've talked about this at length. We know, Craig Tyler's been listening to the channel. He knows. That's why he's like bringing it up, because he's been watching for years, apparently. 30 love. But that's what you do. You just change the women's final. It's not going to change the schedule at all. It's just going to mean that in the final, Sabalenka or Raducanu have to win 1 more set or 2 more sets, whatever. Like, it doesn't change anything else. It just means that in the final, instead of winning 1 more set, you win best of 2 out of 3. You win 3 out of 5. Like, you might have to play a little bit more tennis in the final. That's it. A couple hours, maybe an hour or 2 more. That's it. And then we work from there. We don't need to change the whole thing. We just change one thing. And then we go back, we work backwards. We roll this out over 5 years. We don't need to do everything at once. 40 love. That's what I like. People are going crazy with the theories. We don't need to do that. Doesn't need to be that bad. Valentova. Somebody said Valentova in the chat. Cirstea. She holds 5-2. She's 1 game away from the title. Yeah, we just need to change. And you change the Australian Open final, 5 sets. And then maybe the US Open decide to do it. And then maybe the French Open. And then you go, okay, what about semifinals? Because the semifinals for the Australian Open, the women's semifinals are played on the same day. Men's aren't played on that day. So again, the scheduling doesn't matter. It doesn't. You can just move the women's finals to a day, semifinal on the day, semifinal at night, like the men's, right? And you have 2 matches. Again, this is super easy. We don't need to change the entire system. Like baby steps, right? And if it doesn't work, we go back to the other thing. Like, it's like just baby steps. I mean, again, 5-set women's final. You're telling me that you wouldn't want to see Sabalenka or Raducanu in a 5-setter? It was 3 sets of epicness. What if we had a 4th set? That would have been awesome. Then they weren't fatigued. They weren't tired in that final. They didn't look tired after the 3rd set. Like, they weren't like Nadal and Djokovic in 2012 asking for a chair because they were cramping because they played 6 hours. Sabalenka and Raducanu could have played another set for sure. It could have been great. Like, it could have been a Sabalenka 5-set comeback. Like, how cool that would have been. And it would have made, like, I think the thing for me, I know everyone goes down like the equal pay thing, but I don't care about that. For me, it's about memorable matches. Like, on the men's side, the best matches were semifinals, final. But the semifinals were better, right? Because it was 5 sets. I don't remember what happened before that. And on the women's side, the final was great, but 5-setters are so much more memorable. Everybody remembers those epic 5-setters. On the women's side, it just gets overshadowed, though, because they don't have that option to play 5. So we don't get those epic 5-setters on the women's side because it's not a thing. I would love a 5-set epic. All right, love 15. Cirstea, 3 points away. Anyways, I've talked about this a million times, and you all know I don't need to say it again. As that goes wide by Roducanu. And it's love 30. Cirstea, 2 points away from the title. Love 30. As the return goes in from Cirstea to the front of Roducanu. Cirstea can't get that one. Roducanu puts it away. 15-30. All right, 15-30. Roducanu serves again. In the back of Cirstea. Backhand for Roducanu with Cirstea with a forehand. That's a winner. Championship points for Sorana Cirstea. to get this done in very quick fashion. I mean, this has been, what, an hour? And to win the title at home in front of her fans. Championship point for Cirstea. Raducanu serves. A fault. Second serve. Second serve. Double fault to finish. All right, Cirstea is the champion. Tough day for Raducanu. And Cirstea gives her a big hug. Oh, that's nice from Cirstea. Giving Raducanu a hug and saying good match. You know, Raducanu wasn't 100%, but that's not an excuse. Cirstea was too good, and she wins at home her 4th career title in her final year on the tour. By the way, Cirstea's having a great year. She has been scary this year. She has only lost to Sabalenka and Osaka this year, and now she has a title. I mean, Cirstea is in great form to finish her career. So at the moment. All right. And Simona Halep, I think, is going to be giving the trophy out because she disappeared from her seat. All right, GG's. But Cirstea gets the win. And look, tough for Raducanu. I mean, she had, again, tough match yesterday. But it's been a good week for Raducanu. I mean, Raducanu fans, don't be discouraged. Making a final is a big step forward. After, I mean, physically, you know, losing in semi-final. I mean, there was a few semi-finals she had to retire from in the last couple of years. But Cirstea came out here and just went, I want this title. This is my home. This is my house. I want this title. And a good moment for Cirstea. Cirstea was involved in some drama as well recently. Can't remember against who. That was against Osaka. Because Osaka kept saying, come on, between serves. But Cirstea was quick to stamp that out in the press conference. She's like, hey, whatever. That wasn't fun? Well, that's why we watched the Abu Dhabi final, because that was fun. Some real positives for Emma, honestly. I agree. Look, and if you're a Raducanu fan, even though the final was disappointing, she made the final. And that's a big step for her. That's a big step for her. Isn't Alexandra Eala joint playing doubles finals? They are playing later, yeah. Now for the rarest ever event, Raducanu with a runner-up speech. Yeah, first time she's ever done a runner-up speech. That's interesting. Second speech she's had to make post-final. Yeah, I know Eala and Valentova are playing in Doha. I'm so pumped for that match. I'm so excited. I'm a massive fan of Valentova after the last probably 6 months. She is so much fun to watch. She is a scary player, and Eala's going to have to play. Like, it's a great contrast because Valentova's got, like, she's got a really aggressive game, but Eala's got that defense, so it's going to be. I'm really excited for that one. Obviously, the Eala fan in me is nervous, but I like Valentova, so I'm not nervous because I'm like, well, I don't care who wins. I like both players. So I'm excited to see that matchup. There's actually a lot of good banger first-round matches. Are we streaming Davis Cup? Nah, Davis Cup's kind of been a miss. The only match that I was really keen on was Rude versus Draper, and that didn't happen. So yeah, I'm not really. I mean, I'm looking at the lineups. Australia versus Ecuador in Ecuador. We're not going to watch that. Dimitrov's not playing for Bulgaria, so there's no need to watch that. India Netherlands. I mean, that's on at the moment. Hungary USA, but the USA don't have their big boys. They've got. I mean, Tommy Paul's there, but they don't have Fritz. Shelton, Tiafo, those boys. Slovakia versus France. I mean, not really. Canada don't have their guns, and Fonseca isn't playing for Brazil, so I'm not really interested in that. Lehechka is versus Sweden. Again, not really interested in that. Japan, Austria have finished. Austria got the win. Great Britain have beaten Norway. Croatia versus Denmark, but it's no Chorich, and you got no Runa. And then Chile versus Serbia, and Djokovic isn't playing. So again, this is nothing to watch. Like, we were going to watch Davis Cup, but it's just not. The players that I thought we were going to watch aren't there, you know. But that's okay. Next week we'll watch some Rotterdam. Runa Achilles injury, and he'll be out probably for most of the year. Are we really off tomorrow? Maybe. Unless we watch FAA in the final of whatever. In Montpellier, maybe. That's the only match that I'm interested in. Montpellier final. I mean, that's the only match on. Because in Doha, I'm not really interested in what's going on. But if we just got to wait and see. I'll tell you though, the Monday is going to be crazy for Doha. If tomorrow's mid, then day 2 is going to be nuts because there's a lot of first round matches that are very interesting. We'll see if Castella and Raducanu might not play next week, and same with Castella, because Castella is playing Chen, but I wouldn't be shocked if Castella's like, you know what, I'm not going there because I want to stay home and celebrate this trophy at home. So yeah, I think Castella's probably going to pull out against Chen. Raducanu Osorio, I think Raducanu might even just say, you know what, it's been a tough week. I'm not going to go and play another tournament next week. I'll go play Dubai. Especially if Raducanu's had some issues, physical issues. And then Chen Kenin could be on Monday. Eala Valentova is obviously there as well. Sonmez, Sakari, Joint, Noskova. Yeah. So there are a lot of good matches scheduled for Monday. Yeah, Osorio's on a great winning streak too, yep. Yeah, and Boko is playing tomorrow. She's the only one that I've got on my radar for tomorrow. But it just depends when she plays, because if she's playing at 3 a.m., I'm going to take this opportunity to actually take a day off, because I don't think we've had a day off since... I don't think I've had a day off. Actually, when did I not watch tennis, chat? When was the last time I didn't watch tennis? We watched all this week. We obviously watched the Australian Open. I'm going to say that I probably didn't watch tennis in December. Let me have a look. So when was the last day that I didn't watch a match? Because we watched pretty much every day up until... Because we watched every... Oh, no, hang on. You know what? It might have been the day before the Oz Open started, because I didn't have anything to watch because Federer was doing that thing. But we watched the Federer thing. Forgot we watched that. Oh, yeah, we watched the Adelaide final with Mboko and Andreeva. So, yeah, no, we did watch... We watched the Saturday night before the Sunday start. Because I forgot we watched the doubles with Leighton and stuff. So wait, where are we? 12, 13, 14. Okay. I reckon we haven't... maybe the 1st of January was the last time I didn't watch a tennis match. Like literally every day this year. Yeah. So the last time I didn't stream was the day before the season started because there was nothing to watch. New Year's Day. So I don't know how many days are we into the year? 38. I've been streaming for 38 days straight. That seems a lot. That sounds like a lot. Every day for 38 days straight I've been live. Once a day, at least once. That's kind of crazy. That seems a little concerning. 37 because the first day didn't count. that interesting. All right. So tomorrow I'm going to take the opportunity to maybe not watch something, but we're probably going to watch something. We'll probably watch the final of Montpellier if FAA wins. You think Emma will win another title, Cam? Yeah, for sure. Longer than your snap streaks. Okay. Eala Valentova, it will be interesting, yes. That'll be a very interesting matchup on Monday. Because Monday is going to be crazy. Like we're going crazy on Monday. All right. So like I said, chat, Halep is giving out the trophy. And she is getting a massive cheer from everybody. Halep is going to give out the trophy. Roducanu buying time, hoping any top 10 will marry her. What are you okay, bro? That was a weird comment. FAA has to defend this title. Be a shame if he didn't. Well, yeah. We'll keep an eye on the on that. All right, the umpire's getting a trophy. They're chanting Simona. Yeah, they are. That Bejlek win was a surprise also, right? Oh, it was, for sure. That was the surprise. I mean, this match maybe not as big of a surprise because Castella's got a lot of experience, but yeah, Bejlek winning against Alexandra Eala was huge. I'm glad we watched that match because I was like, oh, do we watch that? I don't know. Will anybody give a shit? And then I thought, you know what? No, we've watched most of Abu Dhabi. Well, at least we've watched a lot of Abu Dhabi through Eala this week, so let's watch it. And also, Bejlek being a young, up-and-coming player, worth a watch, right? And I'm glad we did because that was a very good final to watch. And out of the two finals we watched, it was better. It was the best of the two when it comes to competition. So, all right, but we're getting out of here. I've also got to make a rankings video because that is also a thing to do. But I'll be back. We might be back tomorrow. If FAA wins and he plays in Montpellier final, we might watch that. I don't know when it is. Does anyone know when the final is? For tomorrow? I'll find out in 2 seconds. Don't you worry. Uh, 3 p.m. Is that like midnight? One a.m. my time. Yay. So we might watch it. Maybe. If FAA gets through. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. I might see you tomorrow. If not, by the way, ranking show might come out tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to do the ranking show because we start on a Sunday, but then I don't know. Ranking show may come out tomorrow, but it might come out before FAA plays that final. I don't know. the schedule is weird when they start on a Sunday. But Cirstea wins her 4th trophy. She beats Raducanu in the final, and she lifts the trophy 6-love, 6-2. Great win for Cirstea. Raducanu making her first final in a long time, so that's good to see her progress. But we'll be back to do Doha next week, which both of these ladies are playing at the moment.